Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar for drivers on new driver ELD setup. Today we have Colin, Travis, Jason, Chelsea, and I, Leah. We will be starting in just a little bit, but we want to give some more drivers time to get logged in to this YouTube channel. So just hold tight for a couple minutes and we will begin very shortly. Just so you know, this webinar will be available after, so if you are missing it currently live, you will be able to still get all of the information from the webinar at a later time or date. Okay, we're going to wait just about one more minute now. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. So today we are again going over when you are a new driver, whether you're an owner-operator or part of another fleet, just how you are able to get an idea of what is needed in order to actually get activated with your ELD. So what we're going to do is run through how you create a driver profile, how you're enabled for ELD mode, creating a vehicle profile and assigning the ELD, getting into the app, and connecting to your vehicle. Okay, so this is the Keep Truckin' dashboard from the side of a fleet admin. What is necessary before you can actually get connected and start driving with your ELD is in your admin section. They'll see a list of drivers who are connected to the fleet. So you actually have to go in and create a driver profile. You'll have to input your first and last name. For drivers, something to note is you can either do an email address or a username. This other information in the top is really just for internal record keeping. It's not necessary. However, we definitely recommend inputting the license state and number. The password for all people, it can be the same. So it just needs to be 6 characters. We recommend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll have to input the home terminal time zone, the cycle rule information. And then what's most important in this step of creating the driver profile is enabling for ELD mode. So you may be wondering on the driver's end, hey, I have my driver account, but I still can't see where I connect to my actual ELD or vehicle. So this is a step that has to be taken. You have to actually be enabled for ELD mode, and then these special driving statuses if your fleet admin allows, and then you'll hit save. You'll see this notice that says basically that you have to use the ELD now in order to record your drive time. And then, if my internet will agree with me, the driver's account will be created and it's ELD enabled. So that's the first step for drivers in order to ensure you're actually able to use the ELD once you're in your app. Now, the next step about this is you need to actually create a vehicle profile. So what you'll notice, these are ones that are already connected, but you go ahead, you create the vehicle profile like this. The vehicle ID would be internally how you keep track of what your truck is called. The fuel type. It's defaulted to a US inspection report, although there are options to do Canadian if you are part of the Canadian fleets. And then the most important step when creating this vehicle profile is actually assigning an ELD. So when you hit in the bottom right corner to assign the ELD, there will be a list of all of the serial numbers that are available to assign to your truck. You can choose whichever one shows up on this list. You just need to make sure whichever one you select here actually gets installed into the specific truck. So that's the next step. We created the driver profile and enabled for ELD mode. We created the vehicle profile and assigned the ELD specific to it. Now let's go ahead and get into the app. Okay, so this is the Keep Truckin' app. You download it at the Google Play Store or through the Apple Store. You'll go ahead once it's installed and hit login. You'll enter in either the email or the username that was given to you by the fleet admin, as well as the password. And it will log you right into our app. So after we created the profile and allowed you to use the ELDs and then with the vehicle assign the specific number to your truck, the next step is to go, you'll see this vehicle selector in the top right corner. You want to hit that, and then you want to select the vehicle that you're in. It's going to require an inspection form. And you're also required to sign it. And then once you create your vehicle inspection, you actually see in the top right that the vehicle selector turned green. You see the two arrows with the ELD symbol, and that's green. And then you also want to take a look at the actual ELD box. So the left-hand light and the right-hand light need to be green in order for you to know that you're good to go and the ELD is working. So the left side light is a good GPS connection, and then the right-hand light is to know that you're actually connected via Bluetooth or USB Direct Connect. And then what you do once you actually are connected, you can start driving, and once you hit over 5 miles per hour, you'll automatically be put into driving just as so. Once you go back to stationary, that's the only time you're able to switch back to another duty status. And you're also able to edit all of your logs current day or for the past 14 days. So hope that gave a pretty good idea of what is necessary in order for you to actually connect to your ELD and just get set up in general in order for you to be ELD compliant. Okay. And now we are going to open this up for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please put this in the chat box, the live chat, and we will answer as many of those questions as possible.
Okay, so for the first question, we're going to open it up to basically questions that we've been receiving in the last couple of weeks about not being able to log into your app. Sometimes they forget their passwords or whatnot, and we've had a few people call in because they've created new accounts. Referring to what Leah said, you want to make sure that you use the username and password provided by your fleet or the one that you created for yourself. If you decide to make a new one, you want to make sure that that username and login credentials is attached to your account. All right, so for the Q&A, we'll open it up and start with regarding off-the-road inspections. Can we talk, maybe Travis, and talk a little bit about how drivers can go ahead and talk to the officers when pulled over?
Sure. So the most important thing with regard to entering an inspection is to understand what type of system you are running. And in order to understand what system you're running as a driver, what you can do is you can go to your app and click on the top 3 lines, or up on the top left, click on the 3-line menu to open up the menu on the left side, and then you can choose DOT inspection mode. And once you click DOT inspection mode, it's going to bring you to another screen that's going to show you either 2 boxes saying that you can view your logs, and another box that says that you can send your logs via email or fax. If you see those 2 boxes, then you are operating an automatic onboard recording device. And I would suggest that you go ahead and do that now, so that you can and make a note of the fact that you are operating an automatic onboard recording device. If you see only 2 boxes, if you open that DOT inspection mode up and you see another box that says send output file, then you can make a note that says that you are running an ELD. And that's important because if you get into an inspection in the near future, you'll want to tell the officer at the very beginning that you are running an AOBRD if you're running an AOBRD. And that will steer the inspection in the right way. Most of the confusion that we've received or that we've seen in the recent past has been due to drivers not knowing what type of inspection mode they're in. Also, inspectors not knowing how to tell the difference between the 2. And we're trying to help everybody on both of those fronts. I've been in contact with Department of Transportation inspection authorities around the country for basically half the day, every day that I've been in the office for the last couple of weeks, in order to get these things sorted out. But we all need to do our part, and the part that y'all can, the way that y'all can make this a lot easier is just understand what type of device you're running, an AOBRD or an ELD, and make sure that the officer understands what mechanisms are going to be available to that officer.
Thanks, Travis. Our next question. What are all these red exclamation marks on my app? Colin, can you take this one and maybe show them? We'll take it back to the app.
Sure. A red exclamation points typically means that there's a form and manner error, or something that you essentially forgot to do that's required for that day. For example, on this Friday log, you'd see the red exclamation point. That's an immediate indicator that you forgot to do something. And it's going to go ahead and label it for you too. So what you would do is just go ahead and tap that day. And then right there, it'll say that where the red exclamation point is located, that's kind of where your attention needs to be. So then you just go ahead and click that. And right there, it's saying that I forgot shipping documents and the odometer reading. And then just a quick note on shipping documents. If you don't have them or they're not required for that, for your load that day, then you can just type in anything. You type in NA or something like that, and then that will carry over until you edit it again, and then I'll get rid of that exclamation point for you too. But long story short, I guess the red exclamation point means that your attention is needed there, and it's that you forgot to either sign your log, or enter shipping documents, or just didn't enter something that was required for the log for that day.
Thanks, Colin. I do want to note that it is required for for all drivers to sign their log. So make sure that you're going in every day and doing this. Also, if you want to select a log to sign without going in and signing it, you can go ahead and select the box and do that for any other boxes that have the red exclamation mark. And in the top right-hand corner, you'll see an option to sign. So you'll just click sign, click save, and now all your logs are signed. So that's something you guys definitely want to take note of. Also, we've been getting some questions regarding the log form. So this is something as a driver, with a normal paper log, you would have to fill out every day. And this is something that you want to kind of put into your standard operating procedure that you use every day. So every day when you come in, you're definitely going to want to go into your log form and update the information or just verify that it's still current. So if you see here, right now I'm in my general section. And you can see that all my information is already in here. And this was from a previous day. So anything that I have in my general regarding the vehicle field, trailer, and driver, it will automatically repopulate for the next day. But you do have to enter the odometer or the distance. So that'll be blank. The carrier information will carry over. And then the other, this stuff will not carry over. So if you have a co-driver or want to enter your origin location and your destination location and any notes, that's something you would have to enter in every day. So just taking the time to enter that will keep your logs up to date with the most current information and won't cause any confusion for you when you're looking back on your logs. All right, so we're going to move on to the next question here, which is, do I have to connect to my vehicle every day? Colin, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, when you're driving or when there's ELD in the vehicle, it's going to essentially start recording drive time every time that vehicle goes over 5 miles an hour. Whether you're connected to it or not. And then so that would get recorded as unidentified drive time. So essentially, to be compliant, you're going to need to connect to that vehicle via Bluetooth with your mobile device, and that will be indicated by, or you'll get an indication that you're connected by either the green arrows at the top right of the screen, and there will also be a green light on the right side of the ELD itself. But yeah, you do need to connect.
Can anyone kind of talk about best practices when leaving a vehicle or stop driving your vehicle?
Yeah. So when you're in your vehicle and you're done driving for the day, you'll see that as soon as your vehicle stops or isn't in motion anymore on your application, it'll say stationary. Now, before you completely log out and everything of the vehicle, we recommend that you kind of just give it a minute or give it 30 seconds to just sync up with the servers so all the data can get transferred back or to the server for your fleet manager. You can see right there where it says in motion. So then you just essentially just wait until it goes down to stationary, and you'll see that the driving duty status right under the clock there will eventually the lock will eventually go away, just like that. And now you'll be able to go out of driving like so, and then select your duty status. And then you'll just hit save at the top right. And then once you're done with that, we always recommend that you leave the vehicle as well. So you just go ahead and tap your vehicle at the top right again, and then leave vehicle. And then you're gonna finish up your post trip, and you'll be good to go. But again, just kind of a big tip there would just be to, prior to logging out and then leaving the vehicle, just kind of give it at least 30 seconds to a minute to kind of let all that data and information sync so your logs stay accurate, as well as the logs getting sent to your fleet manager.
All right, next question. I've noticed that the location is coming in a little bit different. Can you explain how the location is recorded? Jason, do you want to take that one?
Can you repeat your question?
Sure, it's about the location and how it's recorded.
Sure. So the FMCSA has very strict guidelines for the locations that we have to record. Basically, it has to be the nearest town or city with population of at least 5,000 people. So sometimes if you see that if it says on your log that it's 8.3 miles from some town you never heard of, this is why. They want to make sure that any town or city that's listed on your log is one that has a population of 5,000, so it's easily recognizable by the FMCSA officer. And so we comply with the rules that have been set forward by the FMCSA.
Thank you, Jason. So that's only for the driving events, and then that'll be recorded after the driving events, correct? So I just want to clarify, this is only for when you guys are actually being recorded by the ELD. If you're going from off duty to on duty, there was no connection to the ELD for a GPS location.
Yeah, then it pulls the GPS location directly from your mobile phone. So it's whatever location your mobile phone creates in that regard.
Right. So just it's always a best practice, I say, to be aware of what is being pulled into your location, and make sure that it's up to date and that you're being aware of what is being saved on your log, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for making sure that all the information is correct.
Thank you. Okay, next question. My fleet manager said they ELD enabled me, but I still don't see the vehicle selector in the corner. What do I do? I can go ahead and answer that one too.
Thanks, Leah.
Yeah, so basically when you have a driver profile and it's later ELD enabled, it actually doesn't go into effect until midnight of that night. So if you need to use your ELD on the same day that you get enabled, what you need to do is actually contact your account manager or support. And basically what we would have to do is force enable it. It would delete your current day logs. So you most likely only want to do this if you've been like off duty all day. So it won't really affect your logs. But basically after it's force enabled, you will be able to connect to your ELD on the same day. Otherwise, you'll just have to wait it out until midnight.
Awesome. All right. Okay, the next question we have here is regarding, let me see here. Let me just run through the question. Again, I want to make a note that if you didn't have a chance to catch this webinar or you want someone else to see it, this will be saved on our YouTube channel. So you can share this with anyone or so they can view it at a later time. All right, we'll answer 2 more questions, and then I think that'll be it for this webinar for today. It's regarding basically the special driving statuses. I know this is kind of a big question for a lot of people on how to use this. Oh, sorry. Colin, can you go ahead and walk through how someone would do this on their app and kind of the best practices regarding special driving statuses?
Yeah, sure. All right, so if you were to add a special driving status, for example, perhaps with the 16-hour extension, to do it, you would just basically go to the 16-hour short haul extension. You'd basically just go to the log that you want to add it to, and then at the bottom there's a little plus, and you of course have to be enabled for it by your fleet manager to allow for this. Then you just go ahead and hit the plus. And then it would essentially be there if your fleet manager allowed for it. You want to take other special driving statuses?
Sure. Okay. So let's say you're about to make a yard move. You're going to go ahead and select in your on-duty status, on duty, and enable yard move. So this is where you go to basically annotate what special driving status you're going to be in prior to the driving event. So I'm going to say, you could put in your notes here, picking up load. There we go. Picking up load on other side of like the terminal or something like that. So they know that it really has nothing to do with delivering it. You're just picking it up, maybe moving the truck in your own yard. So you click save, and you'll get this green bar at the top that says yard move enabled. So that when you start driving, you know that you're going to be in yard move, and that drive time will be put on your 4th line, which is your on-duty time. So when you start driving, you'll actually see with your clock that it's going to say yard move, and it's not going to go towards your clock at all. And of course, you'll want to be connected to a vehicle at this time when you do this. But we're not going to actually go through that again. And again, just to let you know, so when you're done with it, you'd want to click disable, which is that little X on the right when you're done with your yard move. And it'll say, are you sure you want to disable yard move? You say yes. And then next time you drive, it'll automatically just put you in drive on your, and that time will go on your third line. Same thing for personal conveyance. You would go to off duty, enable personal conveyance, put in your note about what the driving event is, and click save. Same thing, it'll put your driving time, instead of on your drive line, it'll put it on your off-duty time. And this is something we just really want to stress to help drivers and to avoid having to go back and edit anything or make changes. Try to think about this in your daily workflow of what this driving event is and if it should be marked personal conveyance or yard move prior to the driving event. It's going to save you a lot of time and just keeping your logs accurate at all times. All right, we have time for one more question.
Okay. I think I'm in AOBRD mode, but a DOT officer stopped me and told me to Bluetooth or USB send my logs to it. I couldn't do that, so I got a ticket. What do I do?
This is a very common question coming up. And it highlights the issue of not setting expectations correctly and officers not knowing what to do when they encounter these issues. If an officer, if you tell an officer that you have an automatic onboard recording device and they log a violation, give you a violation or a ticket for something regarding the electronic logging device under 395.22 anything, then what you'll do is you will file a data queue to challenge the information in the FMCSA's records. Also, you can feel free to email a PDF copy of that violation report along with an explanation as to what happened while you were at in the inspection to compliance@keeptruckin.com. I want you to do this because I am very interested in keeping track of all of the incorrectly logged violations around the country. I've been in contact with some publications around the country and some other regulators and DOT authorities that are very interested in keeping track of these issues. And I've got a very long list of this happening. So if this happens to you, I would like to have that documented so that I can continue to discuss these issues with the Department of Transportation, with local inspection authorities, and with journalists and publications around the country so that we can make sure that everybody can find themselves in the right place and we can all move forward understanding what the landscape is. So again, if that happens to you, if you get a violation, go ahead and email a PDF copy of that violation report to compliance@keeptruckin.com.
Thank you so much. All right, that's all the time we have for today. If there are any topics that you would like us to cover in future webinars, please do email into support letting us know what topics you would like some more information on. We want to make sure that these are as useful for all of you as possible. Thanks all for joining. Again, it will be available after for you to send out to all your driving friends or for you to watch again on your own time. Thanks so much. Have a happy Friday.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.